Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into the fascinating world of lifestyle medicine.
Yes, it's definitely a growing field.
And you've brought together some really interesting material. We've got stuff from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, Cleveland Clinic, Abu Dhabi, the AAFP, Wikipedia, Stat Pearls, even the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine. That's quite a spread.
It is. And what's great is we get these different views, the official medical society angle, how it works in practice at a clinic, advice for family docs, this sort of academic overview, and that global movement aspect, too.
Exactly. So our mission here is to really unpack what lifestyle medicine actually is, why it seems to be gaining so much momentum now, and what it could potentially mean for, well, for your health.
And it's interesting because lifestyle medicine, it sounds very modern, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
But the core ideas, they've been around for ages. We're essentially talking about a medical specialty that uses therapeutic lifestyle changes first, like the primary way to treat and, maybe more importantly, prevent chronic diseases.
Okay, let's dig into that a bit.
Yeah.
When you say chronic conditions, what are we talking about specifically?
Well, the big ones, really. Things like cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, obesity. Those are prime examples.
Uh-huh.
But it's not just about, managing symptoms. Clinicians who are certified in this, they're trained in using evidence-based whole person methods to help people make real lasting changes.
Right.
And the really exciting part, sometimes the aim is actually reversing the disease process through these intensive changes.
Reversing them. Wow, that's a big claim. So it's a shift away from just treating the illness once it's there.
Exactly. The emphasis is heavily on prevention. It's about getting to the root causes, the lifestyle factors that lead to these conditions, rather than just dealing with the end stage problems.
You mentioned history. It's fascinating. You pointed out Hippocrates, Maimonides.
Yeah.
They already knew this stuff.
They absolutely did. I mean, thousands of years ago, they understood this deep link between how we live and how healthy we are. Maimonides apparently thought food was like the #1 driver of health and disease.
So it's not some new fad then?
Not at all. It really shows these principles are pretty fundamental, not just a modern trend.
So how do these old ideas become, like, practical advice today? What are the core parts of this lifestyle medicine approach?
Well, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and most of our other sources, too, they often talk about the 6 pillars. These are kind of the key areas lifestyle medicine focuses on.
6 pillars.
Got it.
Okay, let's walk through them. First up is nutrition. I'm guessing this isn't just about the latest diet craze.
Definitely not. The main idea is a diet based mostly on whole plant-based foods.
Okay.
So think lots of fiber, nutrients, antioxidants, really focusing on, minimally processed vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds.
Yeah.
Giving your body the good stuff.
Makes sense. Pillar number 2.
Physical activity. So getting regular, consistent movement.
Mm-hmm.
Our sources mention that even just 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise can significantly cut your risk of dying prematurely.
150 minutes.
Yeah.
That's like less than half an hour, 5 days a week. Seems doable.
Yeah.
How do you know if it's moderate, though?
There's a simple trick called the talk test. Basically, if you can talk okay, but you couldn't, say, sing a song while doing it, you're probably in that moderate zone.
Ah, okay. Useful tip. What's pillar number 3?
Restorative sleep. This one's huge. It's when our bodies do essential repair and recovery.
Right. We all know that awful feeling after a bad night's sleep.
Exactly. And the general aim is about 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep per night.
Are there, like, bigger problems than just feeling tired if you don't get enough?
Oh, absolutely. Chronic lack of sleep doesn't just hit your productivity the next day. It's linked to a higher risk for lots of chronic diseases, and there's even some emerging research linking it potentially to things like Alzheimer's.
Wow, okay. That's serious. Pillar 4.
Stress management. Learning how to handle stress effectively is, well, essential for overall health. Life throws a lot at us, right? So lifestyle medicine includes teaching techniques to reduce stress and also finding purpose and meaning, which can help build resilience.
Yes, stress is sneaky. It affects everything. Okay, pillar 5.
Positive social connections. Basically, building and keeping relationships that give life meaning and support.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Studies actually show social isolation is linked to higher mortality. Good connections help with emotional resilience, too.
It really shows how everything's connected, doesn't it? Okay, and the last one, number 6.
Avoidance of risky substances. This means cutting down or, ideally, cutting out things that harm us through toxicity or addiction.
Like smoking.
Smoking is a huge one, yes. Also excessive alcohol and other addictive behaviors.
I read somewhere that smoking might even be a bigger risk than diet and exercise for some things.
It can be, yeah. Its impact is massive. And it's worth remembering, even things like processed meats, bacon, for example, are classified by major health bodies as Group 1 carcinogens, meaning there's strong evidence they can cause cancer.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So those are the 6 pillars. Now, why is taking this kind of comprehensive approach so important? And, does it actually work?
Well, the potential impact is pretty staggering. The American College of Lifestyle Medicine suggests it could address up to 80% of chronic diseases.
80%.
Yeah.
That's huge. That really changes how you think about healthcare challenges and costs.
It really does. And the sources point out that focusing on prevention through lifestyle is a really strong answer to rising healthcare costs. The U.S. spends way more per person than most other developed countries, and something like 75% of that spending is tied up in managing chronic conditions.
So if we tackle the roots with lifestyle changes, we could potentially see massive benefits, not just for health, but financially too.
That's the idea. And the really hopeful part is it's not just prevention. There's solid evidence now that some negative effects of unhealthy habits can actually be reversed.
Reversed, like what?
Well, for instance, some pretty famous studies showed that intensive lifestyle changes could actually reverse coronary artery disease. Seriously. Reverse heart disease with lifestyle.
Yes, and it's not just heart disease. Other research found lifestyle changes, especially diet and exercise, worked better than medication, like metformin, for preventing type 2 diabetes in high-risk people.
Wow. That's powerful stuff. You mentioned diet patterns earlier, too.
Right. The research consistently points towards vegetarian and more plant-forward diets being linked with lower risks of obesity, heart disease, certain cancers, diabetes, and lower overall mortality, too.
Mm-hmm.
There was that big Adventist health study that really highlighted this. Interestingly, pescatarians, people who eat fish but not other meat, seem to do particularly well in terms of lower mortality rates in that study.
Keeps coming back to these core habits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Food, movement.
Sleep, stress, connections, they're all part of the package.
Yeah. It's not just supplements or quick fixes.
Absolutely not. Getting enough good sleep, managing stress, having strong social ties, these aren't optional extras. They're fundamental for preventing chronic illness and just feeling well. They really affect our biology. This whole picture suggests a pretty big shift needed in healthcare. What's the role for doctors and nurses and everyone in this?
Well, family physicians are in a great spot, often knowing patients for a long time.
Right, they see the whole picture.
Exactly. But really, it needs a team effort. Clinicians, public health folks, researchers, educators, everyone working together.
So it's less about the doctor just telling you what to do.
Much less. It's more about personalized, patient-centered care. Setting goals together, shared decision-making, helping people learn to manage their own health. It's moving from just giving advice to actually supporting behavior change.
How do they do that?
Techniques like motivational interviewing are key. It's a way of talking with people to help them find their own motivation to change, rather than just lecturing them.
That sounds much more collaborative, empowering even.
It really is. And for this to become standard practice, we need to build lifestyle medicine into how we train all healthcare professionals.
Makes sense.
And we're seeing that happen, plus more certifications becoming available, and this global network of lifestyle medicine groups growing. It adds credibility.
And you mentioned something about hospitals maybe changing their own food options.
Yeah, that came up. Healthcare settings leading by example, making the healthy choice the easy choice, or even the default choice. That could make a difference.
So everyone on the healthcare team has a role.
Absolutely. From doctors and nurses to dietitians, therapists, everyone can help educate and support patients in making these positive changes.
This has been really eye-opening, exploring lifestyle medicine. So if you're listening, what are the main things to take away here?
I think the biggest thing is that lifestyle medicine gives you a really powerful science-backed toolkit to, take more control over your health, to prevent and maybe even reverse chronic diseases by focusing on those 6 pillars we talked about.
Nutrition, activity, sleep.
Stress management, social connections, and avoiding risky stuff like smoking. It's about recognizing that you have a lot of power to shape your own health long term.
Yeah. And looking ahead, it just seems so clear that our daily choices really add up, don't they?
They absolutely do.
The evidence just keeps building. Making these pillars a priority can lead to better health, probably lower healthcare costs down the line, and just a better sense of, vitality and well-being overall.
It really underlines the power in your daily habits. So maybe here's a final thought to chew on. Considering how much lifestyle impacts health, What's maybe one small, sustainable change you might feel inspired to try adding to your routine, starting, well, maybe even today?